Hi, I'm Quinn and I'm autistic. Welcome to the Intersectional Infinity Summit. You might consider me an odd choice to be opening an event about intersectionality. I'm white, I'm male, I'm heterosexual. I'm the poster boy image of what autism is supposed to look like in so many eyes. And it's because so many eyes are focused on people like me that so many others are ignored, overlooked and mistreated. Whilst I may not personally feel like I'm treated fairly, the challenges I face pale in comparison when contrasted to so many of my friends. My skin colour and ethnicity shield me from being the victim of racism. My birth sex, gender and sexuality protect me from misogyny and the abusive attentions of transphobes and homophobes. But there's way more privilege in my life if I stop to think about it. I've been in work all my adult life, so I've always had a wage coming in. It may not always feel like enough, but it's kept food in my belly and a roof over my head. Not all my friends can say that. I'm privileged to live in a democracy, so I have a limited say on how my country is run. And it's a country with state healthcare and welfare benefits, so whilst I can complain about its imperfections, I at least have a safety net to protect me when I'm sick or fall on hard times. Far too many of my friends don't have such luxuries. Even when I compare my life to that of other autists, I'm lucky. Whilst I have meltdowns and shutdowns, I've managed to exert enough control over my life to minimise them, which so many of us never get an opportunity to do. I can communicate verbally and clearly with neurotypical people, so I can at least tell people my needs. I've never been sectioned, arrested, incarcerated or medicated to control my behaviour. I'm a very lucky man. So why don't I feel like one? Because being autistic is hard on its own. Even with all the privilege I've just described, my life has always been harder and presented me with more challenges that I would have faced if I wasn't autistic. The work I do represents my experience as one of the few autists who can distill the autistic experience without complication. I know that the vast majority of the barriers I've faced are simply because I'm autistic and nothing else. None of them were because my skin colour offended someone or their attitudes to my gender were stuck in the 19th century. I'm here introducing this event not because I'm the most uniquely qualified expert in intersectionality, but because I'm a perfect example of the type of person who needs to learn. It's because so many people like me can't even accept their worldview as prejudiced that our world is in such a mess. If it weren't for being autistic, I may have ended up as full of myself as the very same people who've stood in my way, and that terrifies me. I've stepped in and out of the autistic community more than once over the last quarter of a century. Every time seeing progress, but never enough. When I started my advocacy journey in earnest a few years ago, I had no idea how much the additional prejudices that plague our world impact on my friends and colleagues, on top of the struggles I face myself. I started Autistamatic to document autistic life with the intention to educate, but I find myself being educated far more. This summit is an opportunity for all of us to tread that same path, to both share our experiences and learn from others. Whether we're educators or students, content creators or advocates, parents, academics, medics, officials, VIPs or ordinary Joes, we're here to learn how much harder life could be if we just changed one tiny aspect of our circumstances, and why that can't be allowed to continue. So it's time for me to stop talking and let the journey begin. I'm Quinn and I'm autistic. I'm here to learn. Thank you for learning with me.